No questions for Mr. Casey? Senator Cornyn.
I'm going to liberate him.
Congratulations to both of you for your nominations. I don't think it's an overstatement to say we're living at a time of, certainly in my lifetime, unprecedented distrust of our government institutions and challenges to those institutions. Unfortunately, some of that, I think, in the case, for example, of the FBI, is justified by the abuses that occurred in recent years that we all are familiar with and been well documented. And I know Director Wray is committed to attempting to regain the public trust. And indeed, there's one thing both of you should be happy about today, and that is you're not in the House of Representatives where Director Wray is testifying today, and your name isn't Chris Wray. But I just want to get a understanding from you, General. How can the American people be confident that these incredible tools, which you've said are essential to the mission of NSA and Cyber Command, how can they be assured that these tools will not be abused to their detriment?
Senator, I think it's incredibly important, if confirmed, is to build a trust and confidence that for myself as a leader, that you will trust the inputs, because I know I have faith and confidence in all of the individuals in the National Security Agency. In my experience, incredible workforce that is focused on the protection of their fellow Americans. And they do a service to their nation every day, and the ability for us to provide transparency on their activities is something, if confirmed, that I would like to be able to partner with this committee on.
And Mr. Casey, as you're well aware of the concerns about the FBI's activities, since you're going to be so involved in counterintelligence matters, oversight at the DNI, I'd be interested in your views about the FBI's unique role. They are a law enforcement agency, but they're also a counterintelligence agency. And in the course of dealing with some of this lawfully collected intelligence on on people overseas, occasionally a U.S. person's name will come up in that and even potentially be used in the course of a investigation that has nothing to do with the counterintelligence matter, but other law enforcement matters. What's your view about how we do best to try to regain the public's trust that the FBI, as the primary counterintelligence agency for the USIC, isn't able to use that lawfully collected foreign intelligence for an improper purpose against a American citizen or a U.S. person, which, of course, as you know, is more broad than a citizen?
Thank you for the question, Senator. First, NCSC is not an operational part of it. They are very much a strategy, oversight, and policy.
But you're supposed to integrate counterintelligence security missions areas under one organizational construct.
Correct, sir. But other agencies actually carry them out.
So you won't be part of the operations, but you will be part of the
correct and
oversight.
The NCSC's purpose in devising all counterintelligence strategies plans. One, there's a heavy involvement in the Civil Liberties Office. There's a real attempt at transparency, and I think to your question about the FBI, as much transparency as humanly possible on how the FBI operates is probably the best way to regain the trust of the American people. I know as Congress considers 702 reauthorization, there are a number of proposals for increasing that transparency or putting limits on how that information that's collected can be used, and there's certainly work that can be done in that area.
Well, part of the conundrum in trying to convince the American people, much less members of Congress, about these authorities is a lot of the information that would demonstrate the necessity of that is classified information by its nature. And I know the DNI and others have attempted to declassify certain things that they could to give us the information we can use then to make the case why 702 should be reauthorized. But I think we've got a very heavy lift on our hands, and frankly, it's going to start with the House of Representatives. We're going to have to make some changes with the FBI's authority, particularly as regards U.S. citizens and U.S. persons when they use lawfully collected 702 information for law enforcement purposes. But finally, let me just ask you, General, since we talked about this yesterday, you know it's a big concern of mine that given the incredible responsibilities of Cyber Command and NSA, the global responsibilities, and all the hot spots in particular you have to prioritize, I'm worried that we are losing the war on counter-narcotics efforts in Mexico and South. And I worry that we don't have the bandwidth we need for the NSA to provide the intelligence that we can then use with our partners in the region to go after the bad guys and to cut off the flow of some of these narcotics. Could you share with us some of your thoughts about how we might be able to augment those current authorities or the means by which those authorities are exercised?
Senator, it's an important question in terms of counter-narcotics, specifically fentanyl, and what that has meant to our nation. That is certainly a mission that is a responsibility from a foreign intelligence perspective of the National Security Agency to understand those threats. And if confirmed, I'm committed to be able to work that and also to look for new partners to be able to collaborate with to be able to address that threat.
Senator Heinrich.